Good morning, Rabbi Sai. L'ilui nishmas Ruspas Mordechai. Rabbi Sai. Something else fell in the world. Another thing collapsed. And there are 100 frum people in the rubble. Dear Aveli, as the Chevra is aware by now, a building in the heart of Miami, Jewish community of Surfside collapsed. The devastation is horrible. And many frum Jewish families have been affected. There are almost 100 people, most of them frum Yidden, from the Surfside community, presumed to be missing under the rubble. And the Jewish families that made it out of the building have been displaced. The MDY Miami and South Florida group would like you to please ask for our beautiful worldwide group to please help us storm the Shemayim and have those that are suffering in our community in mind when during our learning, davening into Tehillim. Baruch Hu is talking, and it's one hint after another. It's unbelievable. America, everyone. It's worldwide. And what's very upsetting to me personally is an ad in a certain magazine that says it's because women have laced shaitels. When the whatever people say, we have to understand what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking to us. It's one thing after another. He's giving us the hints. Falling, collapsing. Another Kaluna Chasa was nifter yesterday from the collapse of the another guy. I don't know. I'm not. Who am I? What am I? I don't know. I'm not. I'm just saying. Hashem is talking to us. He's saying one hint after another hint after another. How many buildings are there in the world? Millions of buildings, and the one building that fell down in the world is from people. L'ilui nishmas HaRav Chaim ben Ater Zecher Tzadik Kosh Levrocha Dor Chaim HaKodeš. Sponsored by Shloime Rosenberg for my mother's Yartzeit. L'ilui nishmas Boris Chava Bas Reb Yaakov Alevi Alei Shalom. In honor of the Yartzeit of chazzan Moshe Schulhof, Moshe Yakov ben HaRav Do from Mimi and Stephen Sokolow and family. By Mordechai Sapoznick, Lzaicher Nishmas Avrohom Yeshayahu ben R Yisroel Aryeh Zecher Levrocha. You should be a meiletz for the entire mishpacha and all of Klal Yisroel. And here we go, Avi Mandelbaum. We could always count on him to give us a little flair of Torah. He's the one. Where does he live in? What's the name? Moreshet. That's right, Moreshet. He's the first person I ever went out of the Beis Medrash to go to say a shir in his house. Because of these beautiful things, shtickle flair of Torah. In honor of the greatest words in all of sports, Game 7. May the Torah learned be a schus for the Islanders to win Game 7 against the Lightning and win the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 1984. Below Guzma, I had no idea that hockey is in the playoffs. Baruch Hashem, I live in R Yisroel. I'm like under a rock. Until I had no idea. I don't know. And somebody was saying about baseball. I'm not holding cup. I do know about the NBA. I do know. I'm not going to say I'm such an Amaretz. Nobody in America knows either. When I lived there, Islanders, unbelievable. Okay, now we just told the world. Thank you, Eli. Avi. Thank you, Avi Mandelbaum. Shkoyach. Eli Dyckman for the R Chaim's Yartzeit. Chaim ben Moshe ben Chaim Moshe ben Ater. He said Chaim ben Moshe. Chaim ben Ater. Okay. Talking about Eli Dyckman, I want to bring up something very, very important. It was brought to my attention yesterday that 35 people sponsored Gemaras so far. One of them is Eli Dyckman. I'm calling him out because Eli Dyckman sponsored 100 Gemaras. He went out of his comfort zone. The wrong Kornblut. 50 Gemaras. 50 Gemaras. Yochanan Itzku, it's 25. Yakov Badner, 10. It's a lot. You're talking about each one is how much? $25 or something? It's a lot of money. It's more?
This is a
no, what is...
ordering it?
There's a thing. So I saw this.
People ordered it, so they
No. You go on the website and you say, I want to sponsor X amount. You put in your credit card and it goes to either Art Scroll directly or goes to us. I don't even know how it works. Simon Zellman, 25 Gemaras. Brian Kessler, the Kessler family, 100 Gemaras from Brian. Aaron Kessler, 50. Yakov sold 100 Gemaras times whatever it is, $25, $30, whatever it is. It's a lot of money. So I saw this. I'm sitting on the side. I'm all excited. Like, wow, somebody out there is doing this whole thing. Yossi Klein is raising all this money and putting out. I don't have to worry about ads anymore. I don't have to worry about anything. He's doing this whole thing. And then Baruch Hashem, it's for us, it's for the whole MDY Chaver. And I said, you know what? I'm sitting on the side watching it. I want to be Mishtatev also. I'm going to be Mishtatev. I'm going to be Mishtatev solidly. I don't want to scare anybody.
At least 3,000 Gemara. Is it based on the numbers that people actually? What do we do? Is it Merayish? How does it work?
No, they're trying to get Merayish. Yeah. 100 and something Gemaras went out already. Oh, there's an amazing thing, but I forgot his name at home. Oy vavoy. So I'll say the story a different time. What's Morson? There's a guy, I'll say the story, I'll say it again. The guy in charge of shipping out the Gemaras. There's one guy, a younger guy. He's shipping out the Gemaras in Art Scroll. He's in charge. So he takes there's a note and a sticker and he puts in the address. It goes to your door. The guy goes, wait a minute, what's going on here? There's shear. So he opens up and now he writes, he's addicted to the shear, Baruch Hashem. So we got another guy. We got another fish. Something Morrison. I'm going to give a lot. I don't want to stop the Olam from giving. I want the Olam to give. I'll say one day. One day I'll say more than 100, more than 200. All right. We have a big daf. Oh, email? No email today. Oh, there's one sponsor. Who else? Well, tell me about Peh. Here, another sponsor. L'ilui Nishmas Avrohom Yeshayahu Ginsburg. The Shagas Aryeh. Wow. Okay, so we're going to have a day without an email? No. Here, let's show some pictures. Here we have the guy running the whole campaign behind the scenes, Nissan Algans, with the big payas, meeting up. He drove over an hour to meet Avi Mandelbaum without the payas. This is your son-in-law, Dr. Epstein. Good-looking guy. He tripped and fell and slid open his face, but okay. Who else do we have here today? Oh, I left Ellie's picture on my computer. Okay. Fine. It's one of those days. Gewaldig. We have a ton to do today. And on each line, you could say a Maisa and a this and a that. But okay, we're going to go weiter. Here we are. I did it yesterday with you. Ayin Dalet Amud Beis. The Beis Rabbi Shmuel Tana. You got it? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 lines from the bottom of Ayin Dalet Amud Beis. The Beis Rabbi Shmuel Tana. Gewaldige, beautiful, Agadite Gemara. Every line has something to learn from. Nemar kan inu, it says by Yom Kippur the word inu. We're trying to figure out, how do we know that we don't eat and drink on Yom Kippur? Maybe it means something else. Maybe it means you shouldn't wear shoes. The Beis Shmuel Tana Nemar kan inu, it says by Yom Kippur the word inu. V'nem alalon inu, and it says by the mon. Vayancha vayarivecha, it's an affliction. Because Baruch Hu says, I'm going to give you mon, but it's going to get you, it's going to hurt you. So mon obviously is food, it's not shoes. So mamela, malalanina ra'avain, afkanina ra'avain. So on Yom Kippur, you should not eat or drink. V'neilef min tanis benoisai, love and told Yakov Avinu, you better not abstain from relations. And it's a lashon of ta'ana, infliction. As benoisai. So memela, maybe it means on Yom Kippur there should be isur tashmish, nothing to do with isur achila. Danim inu de rabim. That was love on talking to an individual. Vein danim inu de rabim inu de yachid, and that's not something that we learn for Klal Yisroel for Yom Kippur. V'neilov inu de Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is the rabim. D'chsiv vayar es onyenu. Because Baruch Hu sees our infliction, our pain. V'amrina zu precious derech eretz. From the fact there was abstain from marital relations. That's the word, abstain from marital relations. Precious derech eretz. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw. I don't want to go into this, but when I read this line, I thought about something that maybe we should think of a different time. Vayara, HaKadosh Baruch Hu noticed. Sometimes, Rahman al-Islan, it happens, somebody has in a machla. And we think we want to participate in the tsar of that person. And we think about all the pain and the chemo treatments and this and that. And one of the things that we miss sometimes, it's interesting, is prishus derech eretz v'dailach hakim b'remiza. Sometimes you have a couple that go for 5 years through treatments, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees it. HaKadosh Baruch, we don't talk about it when it comes to the Holocaust. We don't. That's a subject we don't talk about, but it's something to think about. Prishus derech eretz. Eladonin inui b'dei shomayim mi inui b'dei shomayim. So Yom Kippur is HaKadosh Baruch Hu is being mitzvah us, do not eat. Not the Mitzrim telling us you can't do X, Y, Z. So we're dealing with Yom Kippur. Ve'indonim inui b'dei shomayim mi inui b'dei shomayim. What are you saying? I said Adam. We're not going to learn from the Egyptians. Now, a small akdama. What is man? Laibi brought to my attention yesterday the Ramban. The Ramban says that man, and we're going to go through a whole sugya of man. All the different things about man that we never knew about, or we knew about, we didn't understand them 100%. Man is the Shechina dressing up in Gashmias. It's a crystallized Shechina. That's man. You're taking food, but it's be'etzim the Shechina kaviyachol embedded in the Gashmi, embedded in the food and put in your body. And therefore, once we know that, then we can understand what's going on here. Why it has different flavors. It gets absorbed in the body. It does this, it does that. It comes with besamim, it comes with jewels. It's not, because it's not, it's the Shechina. We're talking about the Shechina here. You can't get more than you take. You deserve, Oimer is 43 eggs approximately. You take 47, all you're going to get is 43. It's the Shechina. You can't mess around. You can't just grab as much as you want. Tomorrow, I don't know if I'm going to get the man. The man is today. It came today. As we had the Gemara, I wish I had that memory. We had the Gemara, some Amora kicked the other Amora. And what's going on? Why are you kicking him? He says, no, you don't understand. He only works day to day. There's one Amora that he had his living, he bought enough for the whole year. So that's one thing. If you buy for the month, you have a lot of daiga, but he lives from day to day. Here also. Day to day. I don't know what's going to happen to him. I don't know if I'm going to have food. Maybe my family's going to starve to death. You live on shpilkis like that, it's not the same thing. It doesn't taste the same way. Again, even though it has the flavor is there, it tastes like pizza, whatever you want it to taste like, but you don't see the pizza. It looks like one thing every time. So it's not as gishmak. Omer Rav Yosef. Mikan Remez. Who's Rav Yosef? We had it so many times in Shas. Rav Yosef is blind. Rav Yosef is blind. And Rav Yosef says, Mikan Remez l'sumin shoichlin ben sveim. Because you have to see what you eat, you have to appreciate, and that's another gift that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us, that everything looks different, and it has different texture, different smell, different flavor. A suma misses the whole thing. He doesn't see the beautiful steak on his plate. He eats it. Doesn't taste as gishmak. By the way, real quickly, Rav Yosef and Rav Sheshes were both blind. They became blind. We discussed this. They became blind when the Rebbe was nifter. They were worried that they're going to be nichshal in Shmiras Einayim. So they asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu to make them blind. And dafka by them, by Rav Yosef and Rav Sheshes, it says that they remembered everything. They had a tremendous memory because Shmiras Einayim is tahara. That tahara gives you that memory, that ability not to forget Torah. Amar Abaye Hilkoch Mandi Isli Sudasa Loilechla Elabi Mama, the famous Abaye. When you have, I thought we learned it somewhere else. I couldn't find it anywhere. My chavrusa said he doesn't exactly remember. So then I said maybe we never learned. But in brachas it was a similar thing, but not ma'am. Anyway, it says here, if you have a meal, you want to appreciate it. You should eat it in the light, in the daytime. Omer Bzeiro Mikro. Where do you see this? Toiv Mari Naim Mahalach Nofesh. The eyesight to see it, mahalach nafesh. Omer Rav Shlogish toiv mari einayim beisha yosim megufa shel ma'isa. Looking is more than the actual act. In other words, you have to be more careful from looking. Shmir einayim shenemar toiv mari einayim mahalach nafesh. Kitem bakois eino yisalach b'mishorim. Reb Ami v'Reb Asi chad omar kol anoisen daf ayin hey Amud Aleph. Kol anoisen eino b'koisoi. If a person is big into drinking, Arayis kul and doimis olav kamishar. Then everything he could be nichshal in Arayis because he's drunk. If a person drinks too much, then it'll be nichshal in mamanis. He'll start taking from people this. He doesn't have a straight mind. The aga belev ish yashchena. If you have a worry, you should uproot it. Reb Ami v'Reb, what do you do? Charamar yaschena medaitoi. Uproot it. Or v'chadomar yisichena la'acherim. You should schmooze it out with your buddies. So, personal thing. People always want to know about real estate advice. So this is not advice for the olam, but I personally, be'emes, I like to discuss things with people. I schmooze it over. But my biggest real estate thing for me, if I want to know if I should buy a deal, I ask my wife. And if she says no, so, but if she says no, b'shum oifen, I run. You have no idea how quick I buy that real estate. Mamash Ur Metumim. Mamash Ruach HaKodesh Baruch Hu gives. It's Ur Metumim. But each one, you shouldn't go ask your wife and then run by real estate. Each one you have to understand. From experience, never ever failed. Depends how stark she says no. I always buy, but depends how quick I go there. Sometimes at 2 a.m, I'll run, put on my clothes, and run to the lawyer, knock on his door. She said it's so stark. I gotta buy it. I'll pay double. No, bemes. Schmooze it out. This is the famous Nachash. What does he do? The Nachash eats dust. Another machlokes, you don't know who says what. Even if he eats pizza, he'll taste, even pizza time, that's not pizza, pizza time tastes like dirt. He needs dust. He needs dirt. Not that it tastes like that's what sustains him. What? Yeah, I know. I missed it. I didn't know that he's coming, by the way. People think I had no clue. Shocked me. But I would say right in front of his face, he would be rolling off the chair. He knows how true it is. Ma'aseh Shaya about my mother-in-law. This is where my wife gets it. My father-in-law had a house in Rechavia. Okay? Back in the day. Right across the street from Rishmul Auerbach Yeshiva. 3-story home. And he's trying to sell the house. And in comes a client. And my mother-in-law tells the client, she says, you don't want to buy this house. You know how dangerous these stairs are? One of my grandchildren toppled down the stairs. And my father was like, and also, you know, she mamish, no clue. My wife is, whatever, she got that gene. Fine. And halavai, my father-in-law should have listened to that guy. That's the biggest charata. My father-in-law sold that house, I think, for $700,000. It's a $5-6 million house today. Anyway. Tanya Amar Rabbi Yossi, Boyresh, like Midas HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Midas Basar V'Dam. Listen to this. Midas Basar V'Dam. Could I continue? Yosef. Boyresh, like Midas HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Midas Basar V'Dam. Avi HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't have the same midas like a human being. Midas Basar V'Dam. If you have an enemy, what do? You want to punish him. Maknit is chaveroi, yordim l'chayim. You go after him to the last minute. You get everything out of him. You knock him. That. He cursed the snake. What did he do? At the same time, he gave him a zetz. Oh, I love Fridays. He gave him a zetz, but he gave him a hug at the same time. Wherever the snake goes, he goes up to the roof. He finds a little dirt to eat. Kilos Kanan. Yeah, Canaan was Messiah's Noach. He gave him a gezunte curse. Or Noach is Noach through Noach. Oichel Masha Rabbi Oichel. So he said you should be a slave. But a slave, at the end of the day, gets the pillow before his master, gets to eat with his master. He made halachas, how you treat a slave. Kilas Isha. Damnida, pain by the birth. But with the dam nida, hakol rotzim achreah, everybody chases her. In other words, we just said the other day, as soon as taiva was absolved from the world for those 3 days, the world ceased to exist. Because logically speaking, nobody would go there if it was just logic. Dam, the whole thing. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is noite, in the teva, such a taiva, that's why the world keeps on going. He says, you should grow thorns. But at the end of the day, you need to come on to the ground. The famous pasuk, we remember the daga. Now everybody that reads the pasuk says, what does daga mean? We ate fish. And in the same pasuk we have the daga, the cucumbers, the melons, and the leek, and the onions, and the garlic. What's going on? And we don't have all this. Chadomar dogim, it means fish. Chadomar rayis. We remember all the relations that we were able to have, and now you limited what we could do, who we can marry. Mandom dogim, so it makes a lot of sense. We're going to eat. So it's talking about food. Mandom rayis, but it's relations. Chinam, relations. You don't pay for it. Get married, but fish you have to pay. You go to the fish store, you have to pay. How do you explain the word achila? Torah is talking in a clean language. And also, it's a clean language to talk about Zionist, talking about a mouth, not really. It's a remes. But how could it be? How do you have free fish? Says the Gemara, yes, they would go and they would get it from the river. When the women would go, or the Klal Yisroel would go and draw water. To me, it sounds yummy. I want to take a cup of water out of the river, have a bunch of little fish swimming around, geschmack. But it was geschmack because it was free food. By the way, this is the famous thing. We'll just say it real quickly because we only have one of the biggest dapim in the Masechta. But it's kedai. The Bnei Yisrael would go to the river and get the fish. Then they take the fish and bring it to their husbands. Just want to remind the Olam about this unbelievable thing. And then they dressed up and they brought mirrors. And they did selfies with the mirrors. They said, look. And that was more of the time. And then they had a lot of children. And then they wanted to give the mirrors to the Mishkan. And Moshe said, this is not good. This is mirrors of and HaKadosh said, Dafka these mirrors I want. These are the best. This, what? Anyway, says the Gemara Bishlam, okay, if it's talking about fish, but arayis, they weren't everything is locked up, they were all psulois, everything is good. What does it mean? They were locked up. It says Gemara, at the end of the day, they weren't nichshel on arayis. Whatever was us or not. Moshe heard them crying about their families, familial stuff. That's why they were crying. What were they crying? Why does it say the word mishpacha? It's about fish. They were crying that there's no food. Not about mishpachas. They were crying about two things. They were crying about the lack of food, the lack of fish. And also, look what you did. You limited us to such a small group of people that we could get married to. Here we go. In the man, they were able to taste every single thing. You wanted a steak, it tastes like steak. But these five things, the shumim, no. So Rashi says, because it's not good, it's not healthy, for medikos, it could be, I don't know, I didn't see anybody say it, but it's like midik and midik. You complained about this, you're not going to taste that. Imagine food without garlic in it. Steak without garlic. Oh. And also, this is an amazing thing, but you guys know about this famous song. The krach and the pickle. Yeah? It's already a Joey Newcomb song. It's an amazing thing. Because Baruch Hu gave, imagine if you bit into an apple and it had the consistency of a strawberry. Everything has a certain consistency, and a different one, a different crunch. The krach from the pickle has a crunch. The Gemara did a song about how to appreciate HaKadosh Baruch Hu's krach of the pickle. If a pickle it was a mushy like yogurt, it wouldn't be the same pickle. You can't put it in a salami sandwich. The krach from the pickle, that's a big zach. Yeah, whatever. You got to sit over here. Yeah, there's an empty seat there, Jonathan. Not just the taste, but the mamoshon. the consistency. V'halalu tamon, you tasted garlic, but not the consistency. V'hamon kizera gad lavan. Omer Abasi, what does that mean? Ogoil kigida. It looked like this, coriander, kuzbara, but the seed of the kuzbara, it was round. Not a circle, like a flat donut, but like a ball. It was round, like this. Imagine eating this all day long, and it's white like a pearl, but it tastes like pizza. It tastes like a steak. That's what the Gemara is saying. Okay, it tastes good, but Lamaisa didn't look like it. It was missing. At the end of the day, it was missing. You see that the Klal Yisroel wasn't happy. We'll see later on. They were able to get food from Goyim. They were buying up steaks from Goyim. It was white like a pearl. God. What does God mean? To say over. It pulls in the heart of a person like water. God. There's the original DNA test. A woman gets divorced and she marries. In our day, you have to wait, the 3 months. She didn't. She got married right away. A week later, and all of a sudden, she gets pregnant, she gives birth. Now, it could be it's from the first husband, 7 months from the second husband, 9 months from the first husband. It depends when she got married. So what do? You do a DNA test. You see where the extra portion of the man fell. Because no matter how much man you grab, you're only going to remain with your oimer, with your 34 eggs worth per person. So if you have 2 children, so you get 4 portions, let's say. If you, your wife, and your 2, all of a sudden you get a 5th portion, hey, there's a lady out there that has your baby. So it's a DNA test. Lavan, Shemal ben Avi Nisayim Yisrael. It takes care of the Averis. Tanya, Rabbi Yossi Yomi Kishem Shana B'Yehoya Magid. It's a lotion of God, right? We're talking about Kizera Gad Lavan. What does God mean? Hoya Magid Lohem Yisrael Masha Boichim Masha B'Chorim Masha B'Tzdakim. Oh, Navi can tell you what's in the holes, what's in the cracks. Kachaman Magid Lohem Yisrael Masha B'Chorim Masha B'Tzdakim. Keitzad. How does the man give you this information? They came to the Torah. You stole my slave. You sold it to me. Mishpat. Let's go. Come in the morning. We're going to have din Torah in the morning. If the slave's portion is in the first guy's house, by the way, here's a big yisoid for Parnasa. Right over here. How do you see the yisoid for Parnasa? Because no matter how much you take, that's how much you get. Same thing with Parnasa. No matter how much you can work double hours, doesn't matter. You're going to get the same amount of money, so stop wasting your time. Mashal is, again, you could go out and gather 17 portions a month. When you come home, it's only 1 portion. You could go out and work on the 47th photo over there, over and over and over, do double shift. Your salary is going to remain the same, whatever you deserve to get. And if you make more money, believe it or not, you're going to get a transmission failure, and you're going to have to put that money in the transmission failure. So it doesn't matter how much you work. Huh? Oh, when it comes to Ruchnius, it just expands, 100%. Recruit another guy for the daf. Keitzad. Yeah, okay, we did that already. I said that already? Fine. They come to the she doesn't deserve a ksuba. You know why? Because like the famous Mishnah in Ksubas, if she burnt your food, you divorce her without a ksuba. So he says she doesn't deserve a ksuba. And I do deserve a ksuba. If her portion is in her husband's house, she should go back there. In other words, he owes her, she is his wife. It's her fault. But if she deserves to get divorced with the ksuba, then the portion goes to her father's house. The tal is going to fall on top of it. So, first it says, where's the tal al-machna? Where does the man fall? The tal. And then the man goes on top of the tal? In the machna, in the camp. And the second pasuk says, there's 3 psukim here. Listen what happens here. It says, v'yatza. They have to go out of the camp to get v'laktu. and gather. Uchsiv in the third pasuk, shatu v'laktu. It seems even further out of the camp. Okay, tzad, very simple. Tzadikim, you're pesach b'tayim. If you're tzaddik, it falls right down by your doorstep. Beinoinim yosef v'laktu. If you're a mediocre guy, you have to go a little bit out of the camp. Rishaim, shatu v'laktu. And I saw that they say that a Rasha, think about it, if you're a Rasha in the Midbar, there's no TV, there's no internet, there's no books, and you're not learning Torah. So what are you doing? Everybody's learning Torah. That's all they did. You're not working on the field. There's no food. What are you busy with? So Hakadosh Baruch Hu gave the Rishayim something to do. It's not. This is based on the Chavis Alavavas. The people that have to work and they have to work hard is because Hakadosh Baruch Hu gives them something to do. Otherwise, what are they going to do? If you're busy learning, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, that's what the Chavis Alavavas says. He takes care of you. You're learning, okay, so you don't have to do so much for Parnas. I'll take care of you. If you're not, I'll give you something to do. I'll give you that you can walk outside of the machane. It takes you a long time to get out there, bring it back, the whole thing. Okay. Lechem, uga. It's again 3 psukim. On the one hand, the man seems like it's bread. Uga is some sort of cake, round cakes. It's not cake, anything. You have to start grinding it once you get the omer. Okay, tzadikim lechem. If you're tzadik, it comes in the form of bread. You don't have to do anything. Ready to eat. Benenim ugais. Lesser level. Rishayim tachanu b'chayim. Rishayim, they have to grind it up. Or I'm saying, if I'm a Rosh at that time, don't I have to chop, like all these guys just go out of the door and they grab it, and I have to walk. I have to start grinding it. So Rosh always has excuses. Oy dacha b'medoicha. Omer Rav Yehuda, Omer Rav. Yitei Rav Chomer bar Chanina. Malamish yodim leYisrael im amon tachshitei nashim. With the man, they got bisamim. Davar shenidach b'medoicha. We have this all the time. This is a medoicha, a mortar, if you don't know what it looks like, something that you grind in the mortar. The Ben Yehoyada says that it was actually embedded in, Rashi seems like, he says it's embedded in the man. They didn't have to do anything. Their skin, all these drugs that they use for smoothing the skin and the makeup and all, that was all embedded in the man. They wear it, all of a sudden, the lips turn red and zach. Tachshit in Hashem. Uvishlu ba'parur, Omer Rav Chama, Melamed Shiyorim Yisrael, Imamon, Tzike Gdera. They got the spices also. They brought, Klal Yisroel brought to Moshe Rabbeinu, Nedavas, more Nedavas, every morning for the Mishkan. How did they give them jewels? Because it fell in the man. They got it in the man. Over here it's tricky. If you came just for this, what's a nasi? A cloud. Because you've seen the pasuk, the nasim is a cloud. It came in the clouds. Its taste is like l'shad hashamen. What does that mean? When a baby nurses, he tastes whatever the mother eats beforehand. So too, Klal Yisroel in the man, they had different flavors. It was like a demon, a shade, just like a shade. You can flip turn into different shapes and whatever sizes. So to the man, you can flip it and make it taste like you'd like. To you, when Klal Yisroel demanded meat, why do you need meat? It's not a necessity to have steak. Because without bread you cannot live. You need bread to live. So the bread was given to them in the morning. The basar was given to them at night when they couldn't prepare it anymore. It's too dark to prepare. Mikan, says the Gemara, lim the Torah derech eretz, top of Ayin Hey Amud Beis. So L'ilui Nishmas Uri Ben Mattisyahu, and for the success in Gashmis, especially Ruchnis of his grandchildren. Amen. So Mikan lim the Torah derech eretz, shelo yochal adam basar ela b'layla. Over here you see, you should eat meat at night. I don't know if it works so much with the Israelis. They eat their meat in the afternoon. Over here it's closer to the night. It's not, no, because before it was talking about that they got it when it was already dark. Over here you should eat it like right before it's dark. Because when do you eat it? You eat it at that time. When you get it, you receive it from the grocery store and there's no lights. It's the midbar. How are you going to prepare food now? It's pitch dark. That's the klala. So we said that you should not eat your meat at night. Rabbi said you should eat it during the day. Says the Gemara, no, you didn't understand. You have a lamp, then it's the same thing as during the day. It's not a halal on the day. The halacha is, or the idea is, the good advice is you should be able to appreciate your food, see it. If it's candlelit dinner, it's also okay. As long as you see it. Klal Yisroel was snacking all day long. Nashing, little this, little that. He said, no, there's 2 meals a day, the morning and the evening, so that we can learn Torah. You don't have to be busy with eating all day. Hishbaruch Hu gave Klal Yisroel the slav, the birds. And the Torah tells us the meat was still between their teeth, and they're already complaining. What? Yeah, and they got punished. Sorry, they got punished. Tremendous punishment they got. So it says, but it happened a month later. It didn't happen when they first bit into the slav. Okay, tzad. So over here now the Gemara says there's only 2 categories. We forgot about the tzaddikim, no tzaddikim. Okay, tzad. Beinonim la'alter meisu. If you're a pretty decent guy, you're average, died right away. Rishoyim mitztarim v'holchem at chodesh yomim. I didn't look into it, but there's always a question. What's better, to die quickly in a car crash or yena machla? But over here it seems like the prolonged death, but I don't know what it means exactly. It was a lot of tsar. That's really bad. The quick death. Okay, so you didn't say goodbye to your family, but it's quick and easy. Vayishtuchu. They spread out all the slav on the outskirts of the camp. Omer Shlokish, I'll take you vayishtuchu with the shin, vayishtuchu with the test. Vayishtuchu elo vayishchatu. You have to flip the test and the ches. They got slaughtered. Melamich in his chaybus and name Yisrael shchita. Again, the enemies of Klal Yisroel, referring to Klal Yisroel, they deserved to be slaughtered because they complained. Shatoyach. Tanish Mendri Rabbi Shua ben Karchav. Al tikri shatoyach elo shachoit. Melamed. Shiar lam Yisrael imamon davar shaton shchita. Something together with the man, something that requires shchita. You think this love, maybe it's a heavenly bird. Heavenly bird. So you have to go. You have to shecht it. No. It's heavenly. It's not. If a gadol makes a chveis, a bird, we had it. Yeah, it was a nidon. Who? Sefer Yitzir. Take Sefer Yitzir, you make a bird. Shchita, not shchita. Over here, it seems like says it needs shchita. Omar Rebbe v'chimikanat alomed v'aloi kfar nemar. What from here? Nemar v'yamta aleim ka'afar she'er u'kechol hayam oiv kanaf. It's a bird. It's considered a bird. It's not heavenly. It's a bird, and like a bird, v'tanya Rebbe Yomer. You have to shecht it like I commanded you. Now, where did HaKadosh Baruch Hu command shechita in the Torah? Not there, says Rashi. So obviously, it was a commandment from Sinai to Moshe Rabbeinu Melamed. Shinstav Moshe ala veshet v'alakona ala trachea on the trachea and the esophagus. Al roiv echad boif. You only have to shecht one of the 2. Roiv of one of the 2 on a bird. Ba'al roiv shnayim ba'behema. But when it comes to an animal, a behema, you need roiv of both. They came out layers of slav. Again, what is this man? Is it bread? Is it oil? Is it honey? Oh, Rabbi Yossi, depends who you are. Rabbi Chanina. Lina'arim lechem. The youngsters who need bread was bread. L'skeinim shemen, they need oil, elderly. The tinai guys, they need candy, so they get dvash. Ksiv. Shalev, the Korean slav. It says it with a shin. Yeah, if you look at the Torah, it looks like shalev. But we read it with a sin, like a samach, like slav. It's a loshon of shalev. How do you say shalva in English? Tranquility. I like that. What does he say? Oh, he does say tranquility. So why do you give me serenity? Serenity. Serenity. Tranquility. Okay. It's like thorns. There are 4 types of slav. Remember these. Why? For no reason. Shichli, vikivli. It says by you sichli? By me it says shichli. Okay. With my nekudas it doesn't even work. Sichli, vikivli, fasyoini, uslav. Malya bekulu sichli. The best one is the sichli one. Bria de kuli, slav. And the worst of them is slav. Vavel kitzipartos, like this bird, umeisfinali b'tanur, you put it in the oven. When I read this, I know right away, I don't know what I'm reading. Right away, I looked in Ben Yehoyada, I don't know. I wish I understood it, but unfortunately, I'm not on the madrega. If somebody is, please whisper it to me. I'm saying that this coming thing. Look, you put it in the oven, it blows up, it fills up the hole. It just, yeah. And why is it neged to me? Listen to this. And you put it on 13 slices of bread. It cannot be literally. I'm just telling you, there's a side here, and it's stuck in here. It's on top of 13 slices of bread. I'm saying, I understand the words. I can tell you the words. But why is the Gemara telling it to us? You can't eat the 13th slice. It has so much fat. So much. It goes through 13 slices of bread. The bottom one is so saturated with fat, you can't even eat it. It's like too much. Rav Yehuda Beidani, and Rav Yehuda would find the slav in the time. Yeah. Listen, there's a way to understand it on simple pshat. I'm just saying, to me, it seems like there's some sort of side over here. It's going above and beyond. It's saying, there's 13 slices of bread. Just say it's fatty. If I want to tell you it's fatty, right? John, it's so fatty, my steak. It was 13 slices of bread. Why 13? What happened with the 13? It's so fatty. There's a lot of fat on the table. Okay.
Slav is the worst kind. Yeah.
I know.
So good.
I know it's so good, but I'm saying the 13 slices of bread and the saturated. I'm just telling you. Okay, I get it. There's 4 types of birds, and the worst of the worst is the slav, and even the worst of the worst is so fatty it blows up it fills up a whole oven, and it's unbelievable. I get it. Something else here. I'm just telling you, it's something else. That's my shloishes and midas. Okay, and the 13th one is what? Rav Yehuda Benes used to get slav every single day, buys barrels of wine. Rav Chizda in his woodshed. Rava Maisalei Arisi Kol Yoma. He was Zaicha that his sharecropper, whatever they're called, the guy that takes care of his field, they have a deal, it's my field, but you work it, you get half of the pay, whatever it is. He used to bring him the slav every day. One day, there's no slav, didn't show up. Omar Mayahai, what are you doing? I depend on the slav. Solikli Gara, he goes up to the rooftop. Shamili Yenuka, and we know, with Haman, the whole thing, when you hear a child saying a pasuk, that's Ruach HaKodesh. It's like you listen to the pasuk that he's saying. Shamili Yenuka, the Omar, Shomati Vatirgas Bitni. He heard a kid talking and learning, and what did he say? I heard, and my stomach is upset. Omar, I understand from this pasuk. Shmami no, the shver was nifter. Noch nafshi de Rav Chizda, Rab's Rebbe and father-in-law. Rav Chizda was nifter from this world. And what do I have from this? Ubedil Rabba Ochal Talmida. It's because of the Rebbe. There's a famous story, Kavod Shabbos Kodesh. I forgot the Rav. Now I'm going to get 25 emails. Just send me 2. That's all. I chop it after 2. But somebody sent it. There was a chashav, very chashav Rav in Europe. When he was younger, people kept on offering him to be a Rav. And he wanted to take the job, and his father-in-law begged him, don't go, I'm supporting you. He said, but it's a big job. No. And then he couldn't refuse. The final offer, he couldn't refuse. So he became the Rav in this big city. And literally, like a couple of days later, his father-in-law was nifter. In other words, the Ashir, the guy supporting, the guy living, this Ashir's living because the Talmud Chacham is alive. The Talmud Chacham, you're supporting Talmud Chacham, the Talmud Chacham is giving you life. I'm just saying, sometimes you don't realize. You're living, you're taking life. Rava didn't realize. He thought, oh, Gishmak, I'm Rava, I'm the Rosh Hashiva, he's Rava. And he got every day, he got free birds. Came to him, the Aras gave him. He didn't realize, so because of somebody else living down the block, he's the one that's providing everything. Siv. Shichmas Hatal, Uchsiv, Uberedes Hatal. Omer B'Yosef B'Chanina, Tal Milamalo, Tal Milamato. There's 2 layers. One is Vatal, it comes out of the ground, and one is, it comes from Shemayim. So there's 2. And it's like the tal, the mon is in a box. Rabbi said, what do we learn from this Gemara? Very good. That's one of the reasons in the Shulhof. You can look in Shulhof. The Torah brings the Yerushalmi. This is one of the reasons. One is that not to embarrass the challah, but the other one is this. And nafkamina lahalacha. How long do you have to? And very interesting halacha I saw in the Shulchan Aruch. In the way the Mechaber says this halacha, I never knew this. Do you know that you have to cover the challah from the bottom also? I'm saying, I never realized it. We always cover the challah from the top. You have to cover from the bottom like the towel. So if you're on a plastic folding table and you put your challah down, it's not good enough just to put the nice challah cover. You have to cover from the bottom as well because of this Gemara. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful Shabbos, 9:30 Motzei Shabbos. Stop. Bagolov is man koriv and